The teacher's three big rules. Now, remember, you've already given the diagnostic. And the way I present writing to my classes is I give the diagnostic right at the beginning of the year in the first 7 days, within the first 7 days. And then I put it aside. And then we start with response to literature. Now, different schools have different procedures. This is what I recommend. I start with response to literature. I move to expository. And then because argumentation fits so nicely on top of expository, I put argumentation after expository nonfiction, right? And then I end the year about this time of year. What I do is I return to them their diagnostic that they wrote at the beginning of the year. And I say, here's your diagnostic that you wrote at the beginning of the year. And it never fails. They always say to me, I wasn't a very good writer back then. And they see how far they have come. I give it to them after the STAR test. If it's a junior AP class, I give it to them after the AP test. And the last quarter or the last 4 to 5 weeks, I teach them how to write a personal narrative through the Jane Schaffer Writing Program. And they may use that as a springboard, their diagnostic as a springboard, but it's a wonderful way to celebrate the end of the year by having them write and share their personal narrative with each other because they know each other, they're friends, we're a community now. We can make a little book if we want to, but they share all or part of their personal narrative and they see how much they have grown through the year. During the year, when they are writing whatever they're writing, I'm going to tell them right up front, the teacher's three big rules, those are 10-point errors. Those are very important rules, 10-point errors. Well, Miss Lewis, I made a negative 120 on this assignment. I know, I can't believe it. Well, how am I going to tell my parents? I don't know, but I sure will want to be there when you do. Well, I can't make negative 120. Well, you sure did. I told you how many points. I'll tell you what. You turn this in corrected tomorrow, I'll give you back 7 of those points. Tomorrow, at this time, if I get this back, you can get your points, some of your points back, almost all of your points back. So that's how I handle that. The individual students' 3 rules are 5 points. So let's say that Judith has one of her rules is pronoun antecedent. Well, that's a 5-point rule. But if Elva has a pronoun antecedent, that's not one of her rules, that's 2 points. So listen to me. If it's your big rule, it's 5-point error. If it's not one of your big rules, it's a 2-point error. So a parent calls and says, well, why is it 5 points for my child and 2 points for her friend? I'll say, because her friend has 3 other 5-point rules. And Elva, we're working on improving this one for her. So that's how I score. And then rewarding the students is over the course of the year. When a student masters one of his or her rules, I give that student 15 bonus points to the assignment. And a gold star is added to the spreadsheet. And then I replace the mastered rule with the new one to be mastered. And so throughout the year, each student always has 3 rules. At first, the rules will be based on errors, but as students progress, you can also give them style type rules, such as create a parallel structure or try your hand at alliteration. So here on page 9 is the 26-line page that they write on. And I can read this fast, fast, fast. And that's what I want you to do. Don't score it, read it. and have your Excel spreadsheet next to you, deciding what their rules are. Here's the spreadsheet that we already discussed. And then here is where the students, I would give this actually to the student, and I would put gold stars for these kids on how, when they, maybe a blue star for diagnostic, or a red star, a green star for diagnostic, a blue star developing, and a gold star for mastering. And throughout the year, and these are related to the workbook and my lessons, and throughout the year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor their improvement and give them points or gold stars. We can gamify it if you want to, but what we're going to do is we're going to reward them and make it fun for them to do well in grammar. Alberto asks, would we have to teach a basic understanding of the grammar rules before we take any points off? You are going to, in 7th grade, I'm going to talk to 7th grade, you are going to, throughout the year, be teaching these rules. And so I think the basic lesson would be good. That's a great question. I'm thinking about how I want to answer it succinctly. I think a basic lesson is good, but Alberto, what I might do is I might take the students who have a certain rule and put them together in a tutorial and teach them that lesson, because the whole idea of this is not to have to teach a rule to the whole class when, half of your class already knows how to do this rule. So it depends on how many students need practice. If more than half of your class need the basic rule, the basic understanding, then yes, I would teach a lesson. But if it's just, 1 or 2 students, I might pull them aside and give them a reminder or refresher course. That's a great question.